Your Excellency, President Paul Kagame, Your Excellency and my friend, Secretary General Wamkali Mani, Honorable Ministers, Central Bank Governors, ladies and gentlemen, friends, a very good morning to all of you. It's truly wonderful to be back in beautiful Kigali. And this year is a significant year for both Singapore and Rwanda. In fact, we celebrate 20 years of diplomatic relations between both our countries. And our friendship is deep, and our friendship is enduring. Our leaders have deep respect for one another. President Kagame, I had the opportunity to host you in Singapore a few years ago, and you have met with many of our leaders over the last 2 decades, including during your recent trip to Singapore last year. And our governments have worked very well together in areas such as sustainability, FinTech, technical cooperation, trade, tourism, and other areas. I shared with President Kagame earlier on that I've had really productive meetings with your ministers, including Minister Paula, who's here today with us, Minister Valentine, Minister Prudence, just earlier this morning, and of course, Central Bank Governor John as well. And we are already following up on the many issues that we've discussed, including on digital and technological cooperation, as well as carbon credits. So a variety of things that we have discussed, and in true Singapore and Rwanda form, we will follow up. And our people are friends. I have a very good friend in Rwanda whom I have kept in touch with for many years since we were graduate school students in the US, and are looking forward to following up on many of the ideas that you have discussed. And Singapore and Rwanda respect and admire each other. Rwanda is sometimes referred to as the Singapore of Africa. And on our end, we admire and respect Rwanda for your grit, your resilience, and your outstanding achievements in economic and technological development. We also admire your natural beauty. In fact, we have built a rainforest attraction in Singapore called Rwanda Nyungwe Forest, the heart of Africa. We don't have quite your size, but we have a small one, and we call it the heart of Africa. It is, of course, modeled after Nyungwe National Park, and is in partnership with Rwanda. So Singaporeans, including my children who have visited the heart of Africa, can have a taste of Rwanda back home in Singapore. And it is in this spirit of building bridges that my team and I are here today, organizing the second edition of the IFF together with you. And we are doing this because we believe, like the suspension bridge that we've modeled in Singapore after the bridge at Nyungwe National Park, there are many parallels we can draw from and many lessons we can learn from one another, including in the areas of FinTech and finance. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past decade, we have nurtured a thriving FinTech ecosystem in Singapore. Today, we are proud to host over 1,400 FinTech firms, including 12 unicorns. You'll be familiar with names such as Neum, Bolttech, and Advanced Intelligence Groups, which are now household names in our industry. Collectively, our FinTech firms have raised over $15.4 billion across 1,700 deals in the past decade. Thank you. And even while 2024 was a difficult year for fundraising, our FinTech sector has shown resilience, raising over $1.8 billion over 121 deals. And it's not just about our startups. We also welcome over 30 innovation labs to Singapore. And many of these now serve as global research and development hubs for their parent companies. The progress of our FinTech landscape represents what we can accomplish if we are deliberate, and we deliberately and carefully nurture and support innovation. At the same time, there is also plenty to admire in Africa and plenty to learn from Africa. Africa is a unique continent and in a remarkable era. an era that will define the future of your vast continent. With a projected GDP growth of 4.2% this year, Africa is the world's second fastest growing region. And Africa's greatest asset is your youth. 70% of Africa's population is under 30 years old, something Singapore can only envy with our aging population. Concomitantly, Africa also brims with entrepreneurial energy and innovation, and you have the highest female entrepreneurial activity in the world at 24%. I think that is cause for celebration. And the prospects for financial services and fintech in Africa are bright. Both traditional financial services and fintech revenue has grown 8% on average per annum over the last 5 years. And fintech revenue alone has the potential to reach $65 billion in 5 years. It is possible if Africa's fintech penetration reach rises from the current 5 to 6% to 15%. And with a large unbanked population of 300 million, fintechs have plenty to offer the African community. But there are some headwinds. First, persistent macroeconomic challenges that can hinder growth. Second, a difficult capital raising environment, quite like what we saw in Asia last year. Capital inflows have largely fallen substantially from the peak of 2021. Last year, private investments in fintech funding in Africa fell by 45%. Third, there's a challenge of finding tech and product-related talent. Over 80% of executives in Africa find it moderately or very difficult to hire talent. And fourth, as we discussed this morning, fintechs continue to also face regulatory complexities. But I believe that with everyone here, we can overcome these challenges. How? Well, by building partnerships between policymakers, capital providers, technologists, and founders, many of you who are present here and made the journey here today. Last October, the Monetary Authority of Singapore established GFTN, the Global Finance and Technology Network, which was formerly known as Alvin to many of you who are familiar. GFTN's mission is to connect people, connect ideas, and to connect capital. GFTN connects people by serving as a global platform, convening stakeholders in forums just like IFF to address pressing issues and harness cutting-edge technology. And GFTN has also expanded its scope to also connect ideas. It now offers comprehensive global advisory services to support countries in the Global South as they develop robust national and sectoral fintech ecosystems. But in addition to connecting people and connecting ideas, GFTN will also connect capital. By launching a venture investment arm, GFTN plans to invest in fintech and sustainable technology, aligning financial advancements with environmental consciousness. So by connecting people, connecting ideas, connecting capital, GFTN is positioned to accelerate the development and adoption of transformative technology solutions in the global financial landscape. And GFTN is here in Africa, walking the talk. In a few moments, we will launch an ambitious project to shape Africa's next generational foundational digital public infrastructure by harnessing cutting-edge digital technology to transform and to drive this transformation that we all are keen to do so. This project will identify gaps in existing payment systems, particularly cross-border payments. It aims to build system enhancement specifications, coordinate implementation roadmaps, and provide policy inputs for cross-border payment governance and operational matters. It will develop governance and scheme rules for cross-border transfers, including dispute resolution, liability coverage, system-level agreements, and also the settlement of FX. It will develop funding sources to facilitate CAPEX for base upgrades, and it will implement a pricing strategy with two segments to cater to low-value and high-value transfers, and this will ensure commercial viability of payments connectivity. Now, Thank you. And with this initiative, we believe that Africa can set a new standard for digital payments to unlock financial inclusion, catalyze FinTech, accelerate economic integration, and drive sustainable growth. Your Excellencies, our dear friends, in an increasingly fragmented world, we have the opportunity to build bridges, address infrastructure gaps, harmonize regulations, and work together across borders and sectors. Because as Nick mentioned earlier on, only by doing so can we harness the immense potential of FinTech to transform Africa's financial landscape and build a more inclusive, efficient, and robust financial ecosystem that truly serves all Africans. Now with that, I thank you all for working with us on this remarkable platform that we call the Inclusive FinTech Forum. And just as you have continuously welcomed all of us and Singapore to Africa, we too would like to welcome all of you to our island nation to work together to build these bridges between our nations and between our regions. Thank you very much.